fight of his life. At stake is not only the British middleweight title, but the possibility of an eventual crack at the world champion, Marvellous Marvin Hagler. Today, promoter Frank Warren, manager of Bomber's opponent tonight, Jimmy Price, claimed the Sheffield fighter didn't pack a punch. The unbeaten Bomber and his inspirational Irish boss Brendan Ingle have their own answer to such low punches.
He can't be that bad. He stopped his last 9 opponents, and he's 131 now on the trot, and 6 years he's gone unbeaten. Everybody else has got beaten in the country. Your Jimmy Prices, your Christies, a whole lot of them.
How good a boxer is Jimmy Price, though? Because he could be an awkward customer for a Bomber.
He's a good fighter. Errol's not overestimating or underestimating him. I'm not.
Any predictions as to how the fight will go, round by round?
Well, Errol's trained hard for the fight. He will, I should imagine he'll hold the middle of the ring and wait for Price to make a move. And then I think Price is going to be in for a few surprises.
Graham is very much on the trail of Mark Kaylor, the British and Commonwealth champion, and Tony Simpson, the European middleweight champion. And he's got Hines in a lot of trouble, and Hines was only prevented from going down there.
So I just sit back and smile. Errol gets in there and keeps knocking them out. And that's the way he's got to keep going, getting on with the job.
This really is a very, very important fight for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I mean, it's a big stepping stone for this British title, actually. Of course, it opens both the Europeans and, of course, the World Championship. So I've got to get this one over and show them that I am worthwhile to box the European and to box Hagler for the world title.
Title between Jimmy Price of Liverpool. Here we are. Only one defeat in his 15 professional fights against Herol Graham from Sheffield, unbeaten in 31 professional fights. Now, middleweight, I think, is just about the most competitive and talented weight in British boxing right now. And with Graham already holding a place in the world's top 10, well, a future fight with world champion Marvin Hagler is a definite possibility. That is, of course, if Graham wins tonight. Well, in a moment, we join our commentators at the Britannia Leisure Centre at Shoreditch. It's Jim Watt alongside Reg Guttridge. But first, let's get the views of the fighters themselves. And Price knows he mustn't make a slow start.
Go out slow tonight, you know, because I know he's a bit of a fast starter himself, so, you know, I know he's probably come out first round. He'll come out throwing punches, so I've got to be on my toes.
I'm going to deliver the goods anyway, I know that. And I'll bring that title back home to Sheffield.
I'm the underdog. I know I've got nothing to lose, but he's, you know, perfectly frank. Yeah, I'll surprise a few people tonight.
I'm really fit, and I want Hagler. Hagler's the #1 man, so I've got to get rid of Jimmy Price first, and he's in the way.
So the first one coming in the ring is the Bomber Graham, and the nickname Bomber is meaning that he's running, that he did, bombing down the road, doing a touch of the Haglers there, the man he says he wants to fight. Well, I think that's Bomber Graham, Jim, I hope so.
Yeah, well, I think Jimmy Price hopes so too.
So there's Jimmy Price, who doesn't train too far from this hall in Shoreditch, but of course is a good old hardened scouser at heart. So there it is then, the all southpaw battle. Very unusual indeed, two right-hand forward fighters. And Jimmy Price wearing the Irish green of Liverpool almost, isn't he? But a bit of an adopted Cockney in some ways. And unbeaten Graham, who doesn't mind saying he thinks he'd like to box Marvin Hagler. Well, sometimes I'm scared to shake hands with Marvin Hagler, let alone fight him, so I admire Graham for saying it, and he's come out to try and prove a point in the opening round. Looks like all these fighters now are trying to follow the Hagler-Hearns lead, and he's done it too. He's been beaten in one round before, Jimmy Price, by Ayub Kaluli, the Ugandan, who was former world champion. And we've criticised Graham in the past for being negative. Well, there's nothing negative about this one. He stuck his head up there like a weather vane, and yet he's still thrown enough punches there to really punch holes almost in Jimmy Price. And he's not going to make this because he's fallen back in his haunches. Larry O'Connell, no, he is going to make it. Having another look at him. Oh, he's done him with another right hand, Jim. It looks as though another Hagler go, but it's going to be over in the first round. We knew that he was a hot favourite to win this round. Half this fight, I mean, Herol Graham, and he's done it. Well, you can't take that away. He came out, he said he would come out bombing, the bomber from Sheffield, and he did, Jim.
You know, it was a great performance. You can't argue with a first-round knockout victory in a title fight. But that's the second time I've seen Jimmy Price in trouble in the first round. He doesn't seem to know how to tighten up. When he's hurt, he goes firing back. He'll be far better covering up, grabbing hold of an opponent and trying to fiddle his way through. But he tried to fight his way out of trouble, and every time he tried that, Graham was throwing hard punches, landing bang on his chin. So the end was always in sight. After the first knockdown, I think the end was always in sight. When he needed to tighten up, he tried to go out to John Wainwright, and it wasn't a thing to do. But a tremendous victory for Herol Graham. He told us he was going to come out bombing, as you said, and that's exactly what he did. A tremendous victory, a tremendous performance.
Well, while he's taking the plaudits to the crowd, and rightly so, I'm afraid that Jimmy Price is still lying on the floor. That's at the doctor's instructions. He doesn't want him up right away. Now he's on his feet. And he really is milking it, and I don't blame him, Herol Graham, the cheers from the crowd there. And there's the loser trying to be consoled again. What a blow that is for him, but can't take any credit away from the man who is the number 6 in the world, and what a lovely young lady to get a kiss from as well. Don't blame him. He's a happy-go-lucky fella out of the ring, the Yorkshireman. Remember, unbeaten, incredible British record, and it is time, I agree, that he really got some recognition. He's already in the world rankings, Jim. What a lovely picture.
Yeah, that's a lovely picture. Hey, Graham's come in for some criticism because he wasn't exciting enough, but I think he's right out tonight. And nobody can say the half round we did see wasn't exciting. Not all the way through, both boys were throwing punches. And,
so,
unfortunately, I was looking forward to a long, interesting fight. That's not what we got, but we got plenty of excitement.
And watching at ringside is Tony Simpson, who actually vacated this championship when he defeated Mark Taylor and decided to stick with the European Championship. So we go over now to Jim Rosenthal talking to the new champion.
Herol, if I can just grab you this way, Herol, what a fantastic performance.
Thank you, yeah. Did everything Brendan told me to do. I told you you'd been training for 8 weeks. 8 weeks weren't for nothing. This is delight. I'm really delighted with it.
You were terribly confident beforehand, but did you really feel you were going to finish it that quickly?
I didn't think I'd finish it that quickly, but I knew I was that confident. I was going out and do my best. And I did my best, and it ended up in the first round.
Well, you got a reputation for hanging around. You didn't hang around tonight. Let's just have a look at, I think, the first knockdown coming up here, and you just talk us through it.
Oh, well, Brendan Thomas goes in and says if you get him going, feed him, you know, put left hand there, and then right hand, and hit him with the right hook. And it hit him right on his nose. And I didn't think he was going to get up, so I started jumping up. He got up for the other one, and then Brendan Thomas do the same thing again.
Right, here comes the next one.
Oh, this one, it was body, mostly to the body. He caught me as he's just going away, then I caught him back, pushed him off me, and then caught him as he was just coming back inside. And then I could see the end coming there.
knocking him out with right uppercuts now.
That's right, and I think we've got the last one coming up for you as well.
This is the finale. I felt it with the right hand. I felt it with right and left, and I hit him with the right hand there, coming up soon. Thought it was the left. No, I'm sure it was the right.
There were so many of them.
There it is, that one there, and then he had to go. He couldn't go. He couldn't carry on like that.
This is Herol Christie.
Next one I want, if he wants me, Herol Christie.
Right, well, he's done a fabulous job. I think Jim Watt might be a little bit worried the way you've talked us through those punches.
I think all of them would be worried. I mean, today Tony Simpson's here tonight, and if he wants to go, come on.
Now listen, when you came on at the start of the programme and you said, I want Marvin Hagler, I'm sure a lot of people laughed. What do you think they might say now?
I think that they'll be saying, well, he does stand a chance now, seeing that performance tonight, first rounder. 60-40 to me now.
Right. You made history tonight, I think the first British fighter to win the light middle and the middle as well. Well done, great performance.
Thank you very much. See you again sometime.
Thank you.
Oh, well, this is the fight they want then. Herol Christie saying OK, but I don't think he wants to fight.
Well, he's not short of a punch, and he certainly isn't short of a word. The jubilant Herol Graham in devastating form there. Could Marvin Hagler really be in his sights, I wonder?
Message is, I'm ready for you. And the young man is Herol Bomber Graham, the new British middleweight champion.
So there it is then, the all-southpaw battle. Very unusual indeed, two right-hand forward fighters. And Jimmy Price wearing the Irish green of Liverpool almost, isn't he? But a bit of an adopted Cockney in some ways. And unbeaten Graham, who doesn't mind saying he thinks he'd like to box Marvin Hagler. Well, sometimes I'm scared to shake hands with Marvin Hagler, let alone fight him, so I admire Graham for saying it, and he's come out to try and prove a point in the opening round. Looks like all these fighters now are trying to follow the Hagler-Hearns lead, and he's done it too. He's been beaten in one round before, Jimmy Price, by Ayub Kaluli, the Ugandan, who was former world champion. And we've criticised Graham in the past for being negative. Well, there's nothing negative about this one. He stuck his head up there like a weather vane, and yet he's still thrown enough punches there to really punch holes almost in Jimmy Price. And he's not going to make this because he's fallen back in his haunches. Larry O'Connell, no, he is going to make it. Having another look at him. Oh, he's done him with another right hand, Jim. It looks as though another Hagler go, but it's going to be over in the first round. We knew that he was a hot favourite to win this round halfway through this fight, I mean, Herol Graham, and he's done it.
Well, he was jumping for joy then, and here he is laughing his head off in the studio. And the man who doesn't believe in wasting 2 minutes when 90 seconds would do. Here he is, Herol, and equally, he's not actually jumping in the air, but I'm sure he did a few jumps for joy last night, Brendan Ingle. So, marvellous. Now, it always strikes me when I meet you and talk to you, you look so sort of delicate and sort of as you wouldn't hurt a fly. And then we've just seen that performance in 90 seconds where that chap who's presumably equally tough is on the floor 3 times. It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's because I was trained for that. I was trained for the fight, and I'm quite past it anyway.
Yeah, you were sound to be a sort of placid chap. Now, 90 seconds, of course, is a fantastic knockout. But when you left your hotel before you went to the ring, how long did you think, actually, it would take you to dispose of him?
Well, we trained for a 12-round fight, and like we said, if anything comes up before that, well, it's a bonus for us. We'll go home happy. And it came up in the first round, which was great.
Well, it certainly did. I mean, that first knockdown after about, what, 25 seconds, I suppose?
Yeah. We were practicing in the gym, in the changing room, actually, moving on to the left. So as Price was coming on to my right hand, and he walked straight onto me. As soon as he come out of the ring,
yeah,
he walked straight onto my right hand, and I caught him.
So that was a real mistake that Jimmy Price made, basically.
Yeah, he made a big mistake in getting in the ring.
Yes. And presumably, I mean, obviously you reacted very quickly on that, but you presumably couldn't believe your luck when it happened so early in the fight.
Oh, I know. It happened so early. I didn't have time to think, and I could hear Brendan shouting, "Just take your time." So I went. I switched around to the other position and hit him with another right hook, and I followed through with the left hand. And then he went down again with a few body shots.
Yeah. Now, you would yourself, though, within that 90 seconds, you took a couple of punches, didn't you?
Only a couple.
Yeah, oh, no, only a couple. There wasn't much time to take much else, but you took a couple, didn't you?
Yeah, I took a couple. He was moving away from me, and I think he was throwing the punches in desperation anyway, and it caught me slightly. It didn't hurt me, so I was lucky.
Yeah, honestly?
Honestly.
All right, and then that the final knockout, then after 90 seconds, that jump in the air, well, I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Oh, that was tremendous. I could see I said to myself, no way this fight is going to go the first, second round. So I pulled myself back together, right hands, belly, body shots, and then it followed through with some uppercuts, and that was it.
So, Brendan, I mean, you presumably couldn't contain yourself. What were you shouting to him then? He said he heard you shouting. What was your role?
Well, Errol had watched some tapes of Jimmy Price and myself, and we found that when he let his right hand off, his left hand come away from the body, and he'd have just moved outside it or moved inside it and threw a right uppercut. And this was the really one that done the damage, the right uppercut.
Yeah.
Jimmy Price was coming straight onto it, and it done the job.
Did you know then after that the fight was as good
Well,
as possible?
after the first knockdown, I knew that was it. The fight wasn't going to go around. Because Errol's we've had Brian Anderson and Jimmy Ellis and a fellow called Dennis Hughes sparring with him, and they've been sparring southpaw and coming on. We've had another two lads come over from Liverpool sparring with him, and it done the job.
Isn't one of the great things, it was a marvellous fight there, but the great thing is it was in the south of England really, where we've known you up here of course, but in the south of England you've had it a bit difficult down there. You've really shown them, haven't you, down there?
Oh yeah, that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never had any credit from them. I've won the European light middle, British and Commonwealth titles at light middle, and we had nothing from them. They were saying, who's Bomber Graham?
Yeah.
And we shown them last night.
Well, they all know now, don't they?
They do.
Now, the next thing is, and I suppose in America, one or two people are saying, who's this Bomber Graham? But I mean, if this Mr. Hagler has been looking at his video overnight, so...
Well, I hope he's been looking.
What's the message?
Errol's going to be the one. We've always said it in Sheffield, and the support we had from Sheffield the other night, there was about 700 people come down. Everybody borrowed money, got down there some way, but he will beat Hagler because he's got the style, and he can alter his style to suit the opponent. I've said it for years, and everybody thinks we're crazy, but he won't hang around like Tommy Hearns. Every fight Herol Graham boxes, he boxes to suit himself against the opponent, and it comes off. He's very, very talented.
Sure, but yeah, you're not... I mean, presumably you can't fight him next. You've got to go through a few more processes before you get to fight him, have you?
Well, they're on about getting some fights in June. It might be 2 fights, 3 fights. You know, that long. Well, that short space of time, actually.
Okay, well, I'm sure. Listen, what did you do last night after the fight?
Well, we celebrated with a meal.
A meal, did you? Goodness gracious.
I was starving.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's terrific. Thank you very much indeed. Bomber Graham, fantastic, and Brendel, I don't know your nickname, I'm sure. Have you got one?
Ingle. Ingle's my second name.
I know.
Yeah. Well, they call me sometimes Tricky Paddy. But we
Paddy,
keep getting
yes,
winners.
Paddy.
We keep getting winners.
Okay, well,